Hello and welcome back. My name is Philly, and on this channel, I guide you gently through the greatest financial scandals in history. I've always been fascinated by the way money, ambition, and human nature weave together, and sometimes create stories that are almost too unbelievable to be true. This is a space for calm storytelling. You don't need to remember every detail or follow every number. All you have to do is relax, get comfortable, and let my voice carry you into the world of financial history, perhaps even into sleep. Tonight's story takes us to Germany, to one of the most extraordinary corporate scandals of recent years. This is the tale of Wirecard, the company that promised to be the future of digital payments, only to collapse in 2020, leaving behind billions in losses and one of the biggest financial shocks Europe has ever seen. Wirecard was founded in 1999, during the first big wave of the internet. Back then, it was a small company in a suburb of Munich, focusing on processing payments for online transactions. At first, it was nothing glamorous. Its main clients included businesses considered too risky for traditional banks, such as online gambling or adult entertainment sites. But Wirecard quickly reinvented itself. By the early 2000s, it positioned itself as a serious financial technology company, a pioneer of what we now call fintech. It acquired licenses, offered prepaid credit cards, and began expanding internationally. At a time when the internet was still young, Wirecard seemed to be riding the wave of the future. As the years went by, Wirecard grew rapidly. By 2005, Markus Braun, an Austrian computer scientist, became CEO. He was charismatic, visionary, and full of confidence. Under his leadership, Wirecard transformed its public image, from a small payment processor into a global player. Braun spoke of a world where cash would disappear and digital transactions would dominate. Investors loved this vision. Wirecard's shares rose steadily, and the company acquired other firms across Europe and Asia. By 2018, Wirecard had achieved something remarkable. It replaced Commerzbank in Germany's prestigious stock index, the DAX 30. For many, this was proof that Wirecard had become one of Germany's corporate champions, standing shoulder to shoulder with giants like Siemens, Volkswagen, and Deutsche Bank. Politicians praised the company. Investors around the world admired it. And for Germany, Wirecard became a symbol that it too could produce modern tech giants, not just old industrial firms. But beneath this glittering image, thoughtful doubts were beginning to surface. As early as 2008, some journalists and analysts questioned Wirecard's numbers. There were rumors of irregularities in its balance sheets, and critics wondered if its growth was too good to be true. In the following years, the Financial Times published a series of investigative reports. These articles alleged that Wirecard was inflating profits and faking transactions, especially in its Asian subsidiaries. Wirecard always denied the accusations. Markus Braun stood firm, claiming that everything was in order. He even accused critics of market manipulation, suggesting that short sellers were spreading lies to drive down the stock price. And for a while, many people believed him. The German financial regulator BaFin even took Wirecard's side, going so far as to investigate the journalists instead of the company. It was a classic case of trust in a national champion. Wirecard had become too big, too celebrated, for many to imagine that it might all be an illusion. Still, the questions didn't go away. By 2019, pressure mounted. auditors and journalists demanded clarity about Wirecard's finances. The company insisted that everything was fine, but independent voices kept pointing out gaps and inconsistencies. Then, in June 2020, the truth could no longer be hidden. Wirecard announced that 1.9 billion euros, money that was supposedly sitting in trustee accounts in the Philippines, simply did not exist. Imagine that. Nearly 2 billion euros gone. Not misplaced, not frozen, just not there. Within days, Wirecard filed for insolvency. Its once celebrated CEO, Marcus Braun, resigned and was later arrested. Another key figure, Jan Marsalek, the company's chief operating officer, disappeared and became one of the most wanted men in Europe. To this day, his whereabouts remain uncertain, surrounded by mystery. The collapse of Wirecard sent shockwaves through Germany and beyond. Investors lost billions. Banks and funds that had trusted Wirecard were left with enormous holes in their balance sheets. For Germany, the scandal was especially painful. Wirecard had been held up as proof that the country could produce a global tech leader. Instead, it revealed weaknesses in financial oversight, regulation, and corporate governance. The fact that regulators had defended Wirecard for so long, ignoring repeated warnings, damaged trust in the system. It also led to political consequences, with debates in Parliament and calls for reform. So, what do we learn from this story? The Wirecard scandal is not just about missing billions. It is a reminder of how powerful the mix of ambition, trust, and national pride can be, and how dangerous it is when skepticism is silenced. Wirecard promised the future of finance. It looked unstoppable, admired, even glamorous. But in the end, it was just a house of cards. As we come to the end of tonight's story, let's step back and reflect. The tale of Wirecard shows us that even in our modern world of digital finance, scandals and frauds are never far away. The technology may be new, but the human patterns of greed, ambition, and deception remain the same. So, as you drift into sleep, let this story be a gentle reminder that not all that glitters is gold, that skepticism can be healthy, and that true strength lies in honesty and transparency. Thank you for spending this quiet time with me. My name is Philly, and I'll be back soon with another journey into the hidden stories of finance and history. Until then, sleep well, and good night.